This is the saint with the most miracles in all of history, and this man just defied death, time, and space in 2016. And if this sounds interesting to you, all I do is study the greatest miracles in life to bring them to you in story format. So if you like that, then feel free to follow the page, and thank you so much. His name was Yusuf Anton Makluf. He was born in Lebanon in 1828, who from a very young age just became a hermit. He dedicated his entire life to the contemplation of God's words. This monk became so famous because of his devotion, along with some of the miracles that he performed in life, which garnered him this crazy reputation as a very holy man. But despite all of this reputation, he never once took a single picture. All of the images that we have of him today are just artist renditions of what he looked like in life. Then he died in 1898, and from that point, there has been over 30,000 miraculous healings attributed to this one person. And in 2016, if there was anyone that needed a miraculous healing, it was this woman right here. She had just been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and she had no options left. She had tried everything. So our good friend of hers just kind of walks into the hospital room and she says, "Hey, you're in need of a miracle, and I think I know where you can get one." They spoke about this Saint Charbel guy and how this man had done surgery and made a paralytic woman walk, but he had been dead for decades when he did this. And you know, at the end of this conversation, the woman didn't just have a little bit of hope. She had a lot of faith in this man. So much so that she just checks herself out of the hospital and she makes a big long trip with her son down to Anaya, Lebanon, to visit this man's tomb. So they get there, they park the car, and they just start walking towards these big wooden doors. The woman puts her hand on this cold metal handle and she just starts pulling. But no matter how hard she pulls, the door just won't budge. So the woman immediately starts to freak out. She's banging on the doors, just trying to get someone's attention, but the church was empty. This was the woman's last resort. She was devastated. And as she was about to give up, she just hears this man behind her telling her, "Hey, why are you here? Why have you come to this place?" So the woman explains her situation to this man and how she just needed to see this saint, and the monk just kind of feels for her and she walks her to her car, and just before she gets in, the monk takes his hand and she just blesses this woman. Now the moment was so touching that her son just decides to snap a picture of this, and they get in the car, and a few minutes later when they're going through these pictures where he had previously saved some of the icons of Saint Charbel, he notices something miraculous. The saint that he had saved on his phone and the monk that had blessed his mom was the exact same man. So they just turn around, they go back to the monastery, and they ask all the monks, like, "Who is this man?" And they would confirm that this was none of the monks that currently reside there, and it bore an uncanny resemblance to Saint Charbel himself. And on a happy note, her cancer completely disappeared.